Welcome back to the group chat.
Nathan Marshall with the Crusaders. Yep. Scott Robinson. Yep. Scott Robinson.
Close. Rep straight off.
Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, Jon Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva. Bro.
Welcome back to the group chat for another episode. Once again, Phil joining me in studio after Super Rugby final on the weekend. We had the Warriors, plenty going on. Not a great weekend for you in the Waikato as a Chiefs supporter, Phil. What do you make of the weekend?
It was back-to-back trash games, wasn't it?
Warriors, you had a rough set.
Warriors into Chiefs. It was meant to be world-class viewing, and it turned into, So that was a little bit disappointing. Both teams, Warriors and Chiefs, sort of letting themselves down, I think, without saying too much. But it was like watching the same team in both matches. It was crazy. Just the unforced errors, the knock-ons.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a set reset. Oh, nah, all good. You can have the ball. I'll just knock it on. It's fine. Just not capitalizing on opportunities and disappointing. Final for the Chiefs. They'll be mad.
Yeah.
And I was mad. So.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. UFC was good though.
So that was your Saturday. Sunday was a little bit better. UFC.
Yeah,
good,
UFC was nice.
Good fight night.
Some good NRL games as well.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos bouncing back. Yep. Alex Johnson, 4-piece.
That is crazy.
He's getting close to that all-timer. He's getting close.
Yeah, what is that record?
200 and some.
Had just bought up 200 with that hat trick.
He's at 208. Is he at 218 now or something? Anyway, he's getting close.
He's pushing. But yeah, the Bunnies fall short by one. That Storm. I'll need to go back and watch those highlights because that looked like an absolute cracker of a game.
Barbarians play Springboks this weekend though, so that's cool. That team looks stacked.
Yeah, we're getting a little sprinkle of international rugby.
Finally.
Barbars, South Africa.
Lions losing to Argentina. Las Pumas.
Yep. Club World Cup carries on.
Jon Jones retires.
There is plenty from the weekend.
Yeah.
And what I did, parked up and watched Clarkson's Farm.
Clarkson's Farm?
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Clarkson?
Yeah. I watched the Warriors and the Super Rugby final. And that was about it. Oh, the basketball yesterday. But that wasn't on the weekend. So, yeah, for the weekend, I just parked up, watched Clarkson's Farm on Amazon Prime. I've watched bits and pieces of it before.
Yeah.
But thought I'd start from season 1 and watch the whole way through. 4 seasons in. I'm up to season 2.5, I guess, and it's bloody good viewing. I would not want to own a farm, though.
No.
Holy hecker. At the end of the first season, he tallied up what he earned from all his crops. He had £144 in profit for a year's worth of work.
Nice.
And I mean, it's okay for him because he had anywhere north of 60 million from Amazon Prime and all the money he's getting from that. But if you're a farmer and you don't have Amazon Prime and you're returning £144...
Yeah, it's the investment, isn't it? Tough.
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, how many businesses struggle to break even in their first year? So,
well, that's true. Well, I guess profit's profit.
Profit is profit.
But yeah, that was a fun watch. A nice long weekend, actually. It was very good. Anyway, we're going to get into it. We've got All Black squad reaction announced on that. We've got the Super Rugby final to break down. We're going to do a bit of a sport draft. We did athletes last week. Top athletes. The greatest athlete of all time, LeBron, Ronaldo. We've had a few Kelly Slater comments online.
The surfer?
Yeah. Kind of surprised me a little bit. A few Kelly Slater comments. There was a couple around the fittest men in the world.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was a popular feature as well. And then there was one. This person commented about a UK TV show that got all the best athletes in the world at the time from the 70s and put them through a series of tasks. I'll need to try to find the show. But it said motorsport drivers would always come out on top, which I thought was interesting. Reaction time, endurance.
Yeah, reaction time would be really good. I think even like F1 drivers, I mean, they're still pretty fit.
Yeah.
And they have a strict sort of regime to follow as well. But yeah, interesting.
So that kind of surprised me.
They don't necessarily need agility or speed, do they?
Or physical stature. You don't need to be hard hitting.
Yeah.
Be able to take a tackle or whatever. Oh, I guess you got to be pretty strong to take the G-force around the corner.
Exactly.
And still turn those beasts. But yeah. And then we'll go into our like it or love it for the weekend. And then we'll do our odds on betting recap from last Thursday's show. So we might as well do the sports draft. So we're going to do a snake sports draft, Phil. Top 5 sports that you want to watch. So you're going to draft 5 and you can only watch those sports.
The top 5 sports.
From then on out. And we'll see what we come up with. My top 5 versus your top 5. It might not be a top 5 because you might snake something.
You try for a top 5.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do the first pick.
Number 1.
And I actually didn't know because it's very personal opinion based. And
of course it is, yeah.
I try to think about what I spend most of my time watching and what I wouldn't like to give up watching. And
this is the number 1 pick.
I know there's a lot of pressure on the number 1 pick, and I still don't know where I land, so it's going to be very touch and go. But I'm going to say rugby. Rugby for me and the number 1.
Rugby union or rugby league?
Yeah, rugby union for me.
Yeah,
rugby union is the number 1.
Well, it's the Rugby World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Rugby World Cup, All Blacks.
Just the international competitions in general.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Super Rugby.
Tri-Nations.
ITM, not ITM.
The NPC.
That's a good watch. But it's more so for the All Blacks, the international season, and the Rugby World Cup. I feel like.
Yeah, bastard.
And I've talked about wanting to go watch the All Blacks versus South Africa at Alice Park, that atmosphere. So I just think rugby has to take the number 1 spot for me. If I'm thinking live and on TV, rugby is my number 1.
Yeah. That was my number 1 too.
It was?
Yeah.
Taking it off the board early. Well, hopefully a good number 1 pick. Over to you. It's tough.
Well, I mean, the only other World Cup then is football. So FIFA World Cup is the next best thing. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. The list goes on for football. So football's stacked.
It is very
long
stacked.
season. Now we got a Club World Cup.
It's a good pick.
Plenty of fixtures. So then I guess number 3 for me, because rugby union was top spot. I almost want to steal one of yours because I know you're going to say.
Well, okay, so
actually, I don't care. I'm taking NRL.
You're going to take rugby league?
State of origin. The international scene isn't bad.
Yeah.
But just purely for state of origin in the general NRL. Even the Super League has some good moments.
It does.
So I take rugby league.
Okay, so we've both got an oval ball in there. So you've gone, I went rugby, then we're going football, rugby league, back to me. I'm going to take NFL.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
I'm going to take NFL. The 20 weeks of the year when the NFL season is running. Football as a whole, college football as well. I'll just lock it in. Football.
I almost wanted to steal Super Bowl from you. Just so you couldn't watch Kansas Chiefs win ever again. Yeah,
well, hopefully they're back this year. And hopefully that's why I picked it, so I can watch them win some more Super Bowls. Pat Mahomes, not throwing a Travis Kelce, likely, but for too much longer. Anyway, my number 3. Now, this is where it got... I'm going to pick golf. So I've got rugby, NFL, and golf.
You can take it.
I thought you'd be happy with me to take golf because it's 4 days, you get a lot of viewing, and I mean, the majors, PGA Championship, the Open, Masters, and the US Open are all just fantastic. And to get to one of those one day, I'd be gutted if I couldn't see a major live with my own 2 eyes. So I'm going to lock golf in.
Okay.
Over to you.
So I get 2 again.
Yeah. So you'll get your 3rd and 4th pick here.
I'm okay with that, actually. That's good.
I thought that wouldn't be on your radar.
It's
but I'm happy with it. I'm happy I got it.
What one do I take first? I guess it doesn't matter. I'm taking cricket.
I thought it would come back to me.
International fixtures, the Ashes, Cricket World Cup.
The Ashes.
Proteas just beating Australia. That was a great watch. Even the Big Bash League.
Yeah.
enjoyable T20 comps.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, I was really wanting cricket to come back to me because I was going to take that next.
Well, sucks to suck. And then for it's MMA,
Yeah.
UFC, PFL, one championship.
Yeah.
It's on like every Sunday, man.
Yeah.
You're locked in every week.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
And plenty of champs from all around the world. So
There was
you want
one...
a bit of I don't know. Well, I got NRL as well, but you want a bit more biff, don't you? So
when you were talking about stealing NFL or college football, or football, I was thinking about going UFC because I knew that would be on your radar. It is a good watch.
Yeah.
I was thinking UFC to take that from you. But so what? It comes back to me. I need to check back to my list here. Football's gone, golf's gone, rugby's gone. The only other one I had on there. So this is my 4 and 5. And I'm actually not sure how I feel about it. Cricket's gone. I think I'm going to take basketball. I think it's just, it does feel like it is on the downward trend a little bit. But I think it, like you said, UFC's on every Sunday. The basketball is on every day of the week for 75% of the year.
Yep.
Plenty of viewing. Some of the greatest athletes on the planet play basketball.
So many games, man. So many games.
There's plenty to keep up on, but that means I need to go again. And I'm going to lock in the Olympics.
Ah, you bastard.
This was just pulled out of thin air. I hadn't thought that and written that down.
Yikes.
And I'm glad to get that reaction. I'm taking the Olympics as my number 5 because who doesn't like watching the Olympics when it comes around every 4 years? You can have the Commonwealth Games if you want. I'll take the Olympics.
I want the fucking Commonwealth Games. In terms of international games and competition, that's peak. That's up there.
Yeah, I'm surprised it slid to the 5, and I didn't even think of it till now.
Yeah. Well, my thing is it comes around
Every
4 years. So, and you don't watch all of the Olympics. You watch certain events.
Yeah. But with more
but
sports being
peak.
involved in the Olympics now, get to run it up a little bit
I love
as well.
breakdancing.
I can watch cricket at the Olympics. Can I? Is that legal? Cricket's at the Olympics in 2028. You took cricket.
Basketball as well, is it?
Yeah.
What else has come in?
Flag football.
Squash finally getting back in.
Did it?
Yeah. Breakdancing got the axe.
Yeah. See you later, Ray Gun. But so, because you've got cricket.
Sevens.
Yep.
Still?
Am I allowed to watch cricket at the Olympics?
As the event?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So
Fair dinkum.
what? The one event you can't watch?
Yeah.
Actually, you can't watch the MMA stuff either.
Well, like the boxing.
What is it? Is it like jiu-jitsu? No, boxing's fine.
Okay. Oh,
feel
yeah,
like-
okay, yeah. Jiu-jitsu falls under
Yeah.
that.
Kickboxing? No.
Yeah, okay.
The wrestling-
We'll need to check the T's
I
and
don't
C's.
know.
Over to you for your final pick.
What's left?
Yeah. that's the
NHL,
thing. Baseball.
AFL, baseball. AFL is what I have written down here, but I'm just thinking.
Well, yeah, you've got free reign at water polo, Formula
Is
One,
NHL in the
or
Olympics?
motorsport.
Motorsport. F1.
Trying to think what else. you
F1
could-
or AFL? I already have NRL, so probably F1 just to mix it up.
Yeah.
F1, something motorsporty in the mix. Expensive cars. There's drama. There's the Netflix series.
Oh yeah, I can't watch Drive to Survive anymore.
Womp womp.
Bug it.
I think I take F1.
F1.
That's a nice balance. It's good. Covered the
You
bases.
got a well balanced team there. It's the starting 5.
Yeah, avoid the American sports. It's great. It's good.
Yeah, you didn't have to pick one, did you? And yeah, I've gone kind of heavy on the American side of things. I've got America. I'm gutted about football. Missing a football World Cup is absolute peak, especially like if you look back, Argentina winning the World Cup next year across the Americas. Ooh, that's a tough one to miss out on. Anyway,
The what?
the Football World Cup next year. Because it's hosted across
Yep.
North America and
And you think
South
about
America?
the 2010 Football World Cup,
Oh, yeah.
the Jubilani Ball. Oh, yo.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opinions on that.
So you've got
So I've got rugby with my first pick.
yeah, it's
and
big.
then I have NFL and golf. And then I followed up with basketball and the Olympics as my starting 5.
Still got a good mix in there because of the Olympics, I guess.
I think the Olympics is a massive pick at 5.
Mm.
Covers a lot.
Football, rugby league, MMA, cricket, F1.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
Cricket and football I'm pretty gutted about. But you can't have it all. Cannot have it all.
Good first pick, though.
All right, let's move into what the group chat is all about this week. And I actually named this thinking Scott Barrett was the captain of the Crusaders. But he is not, is he? It is David Havili.
Mm-hmm.
He is the captain of the All Blacks, however, so this is where I came up with the name, and it's Scott Barrett's Disciples. Obviously, the Crusaders winning the Super Rugby final
Disciples.
on the weekend, straight into the All Blacks, which he is going to be leading. So it's Scott Barrett's Disciples. He captained the Crusaders last year. He's still part of the team. He just runs the show.
Yep.
Anyway, so Scott Barrett's Disciples, Super Rugby final, Crusaders reign supreme. What do we make of it initially? Obviously, you don't like it, but initial thoughts, takeaways from the game, Phil?
Chiefs got off to a good start. I got the try, David Havili, yellow card.
Yep.
What was that, 7-0? Pretty much everything from there was disaster. I don't know. There were good moments for the Chiefs, but they really just let themselves down. Crusaders were massive. With the captain coming back on, their forward pack was a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Fletcher Newell, after a sketchy start,
Plenty of
started
scrum
dominating the scrum.
Yeah, it was all going Chiefs' way in that first 15 minutes.
Even our lineouts turned to shit. And the knock-ons, the handling errors, the mistakes, the unforced errors, that was the...
So when you're sitting on the couch at home watching that after the Warriors, what's going through your head?
It was deja vu. Just the knock-ons, the mistakes.
Oh.
And Crusaders were just putting them under pressure. You have to give credit to the Crusaders as well. Obviously, decent home crowd, no cowbells to deal with. The bloody strobe lights on the goalposts.
Yeah.
I like the little field design as well.
Yeah.
Crusaders colours. But
Crusaders colours on the numbers.
yeah, put Chiefs under the pump and then they struggled to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Effectively.
No,
it was a tough watch.
I think they deserve to win at the Crusaders. To me, it didn't really feel like it was a final. I still can't put my finger on it.
You don't think so?
The semi-finals felt bigger to me than the final. Crusaders, Blues down in Christchurch. I don't know. It just felt like it had more intensity. Brumbies, Chiefs was a good game up in Hamilton for the second semi-final. And yeah, for some reason, it was a good game of rugby, don't get me wrong. And I just felt like it didn't quite have the levels of intensity or feelings that a final should have.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, the Chiefs led for 14 minutes of that game.
But it was always in the balance, right? Whenever the Crusaders led, it was by 1, 3 points, 4 points. Like
6 points, yeah.
Chiefs
At
could
the
have taken the lead.
13-12 when Stevenson scored in, close to the 40th minute. It was close, which is why it still felt like a final to me.
Yeah.
A final is something that doesn't feel like a final was a blowout. That's not a final to me.
No.
Like the URC final.
Last year's
the Bulls,
final where the Blues...
Bulls got ran over like 30 points to 7. That's not a final. The Blues destroyed Chiefs. That's not a final.
Yeah.
This was close, but the Chiefs just weren't playing well. They just weren't.
Yeah.
They just let themselves down so badly. And when you only lead for 14 minutes of a game, yes, it was close. Yes, I still think it was a final, but ultimately I think you'd lose a bit of that X factor when you don't have someone sneaking over for a try, like a Narawa, for example.
There also wasn't like that a massive iconic moment from the game.
Yeah.
Like it was all just kind of mushed together. There was no one standout moment.
And Crusaders have been defensively strong like all year.
Well, yeah.
And just dictated possession, dictated the lead. I don't know.
Okay, so one of my questions for you, Phil, is obviously they've added trophy number 13 to their cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Crusaders dynasty ever stop? Is this carried on, or is this a new dynasty in itself?
So this is their 15th title
Yeah.
in 30 years. What's their record? They're like 31, 32 games.
32-0 at home in a playoff
In the playoff. That's a dynasty. What was the question? Did it ever?
Did it ever stop?
Yeah, probably in moments like last season.
Well, yeah.
They fell off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think overall, you look at the Crusaders, they've been so dominant for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You have hiccups along the way.
Yeah.
It's still as a package, yeah.
So from start to now, it's been a dynasty the whole way through.
Yeah.
I think if they win one or two more Super Rugby titles, they've got more than all the other teams combined, or maybe all the New Zealand teams combined. Some outrageous stat like that. So, but yeah, do we think the dynasty continues here? Is this like the start of a new kind of dynasty under the kind of team that they've built around now? They don't have any superstars per se. Will Jordan's there. It's just a lot of
Maurice.
Yeah, like he affects the game on the wing, but he's not a game driver, is he? You don't have your Dan Carter. You don't have a Richie McCaw. You don't have a Richie Mwanga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Rivers
Rayhunter. Yeah, he's coming up.
He is good.
He is
good, man. Does this title take away from Richie Mwanga and what he did with the Crusaders? Because if you can slot in Rivers Rayhunter, and he did what he not taken away from Rayhunter, but what he did as a game manager this year, leading the Crusaders to this title. Does that mean Richie Mwanga wasn't so special in the 10 jersey for the Crusaders, and it was more just the system?
No, I think it was still special, as much as Dan Carter was special, Richie McCaw was special.
Fair.
They're almost like just different eras, going through the different coaches, the quote unquote stars in the team, the up and comers now.
Yeah.
So overall it's the Crusaders dynasty, but it is feeling like a different era for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just a Crusaders dynasty that's gone through different eras, and it's maybe the beginning of a new era down in Christchurch.
Yeah.
I guess it's...
Whereas I think, the Chiefs, they're probably still in their same era as they have been for the last
we're not winning
seasons.
Since 2013, 3 finals back-to-back. We're talking about special. Is DMac. Is he really that guy? Is he a big game player? 0-3 in his last 3 finals now. I actually went to see if he started at 10 in the All Blacks South Africa finals. Well, he didn't. It was Mwanga. So that would have been 0-4. Is he scared of the big games? What happens there? Does he shut off when the lights are bright?
Well, he was definitely targeted in that game.
Oh,
in that
big
final.
time.
They were after him big time.
The first 2 minutes, Severies, bang!
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest hits I've seen.
A bit shaky. Obviously, the handling errors.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs as a whole were mistake central. There was errors all over. Unlucky bounces. After a good start, they just fell away a little bit. And you do need someone to... I mean, Luke Jacobson still had a great game. He was everywhere. He's absolute veteran, absolute warhorse on the pitch, but it's not a great record, 0-3.
Nah.
And when you're making so many...
missed kicks. Like a spot kicking as well.
It's hard. It's like Nico Hines up against the Broncos as well that weekend. He had a great first half, the second half. It's all on him, unfortunately. And you are that figure, really, for that team. The number 10 is such a crucial sort of role.
That's what I mean. Is he the guy to be, say, leading the All Blacks in big games in that number 10, that crucial role? And it's now a 3-game...
that's the question, because he's going to be, really.
Yeah,
so
it's now a 3-game slate that we can look at and say DMac hasn't done it.
I think it's unfair to put that all on him, though.
Yeah,
he's not the reason the Blues rolled over them.
No, but like
last year,
the year before against the Crusaders, I mean, he's always been in that pivotal role, and he's not been able to G the guys up. Yeah, it's probably the captain's job too.
Yep.
But as the number 10, you got to be the one marching your
Yeah.
troops around.
I mean, Quinn Tupai still had a great game.
Yeah. Like you said, Luke Jacobson, great game.
Stevenson was a bit off his mark, to be honest. Leroy Carter was...
Both the wingers were
He
absent,
disappeared.
and I'm dark about it.
Nadawa still had his moments.
Yeah.
He still had his moments, but there just wasn't much going for them.
I'll tell you why I'm dark about that later, but anyway.
Okay. How later?
Well, when we get to the betting recap.
Okay, cool. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so DMac, you still got faith in him as a Chiefs?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
In the number 10?
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, lastly then on Super Rugby, 3 words to sum up the season.
Why are we kicking the ball away in the last 2 minutes of the game?
Wow.
That wasn't even DMac.
Wow.
That's a different number 10. He kicks it away. Chip over the top. Why? 2 minutes to play. You're losing.
Yeah.
Ruben Love also did it when they were losing. I don't understand it. What are we doing? Fuck. It's like watching Willie LaRue playing for the Springboks, and we're losing. What does he do? Let me kick the ball away. Washed.
It's a few more than 3 words, but anyway. 3 words, Phil.
Pisses me off.
Pisses me off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
3 words on the Super Rugby season.
Competitive.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Memorable. Restorative, maybe?
Okay.
Do I need to explain it?
No,
Oh, cool.
not really. I was just going to go defense wins championships.
Defense.
So my 3 words, defense wins championships.
Okay.
And we
Nice.
saw off the Crusaders, 40 phases against
You made
the
a
Blues?
sentence.
I did.
Mm.
With 3 words.
Mm.
It's good stuff.
Mm.
Okay. And then they win on the back of defense in the final. Crusaders.
Yep.
Getting the job done.
Very much so.
All Blacks time. Part of Scott Barrett's disciples are the 34 other men that the selectors have chosen to wear the black jersey against France. What do we make of it?
The double vice captain setup as well.
Yeah, has that been announced? What, Artie and Geordie?
Artie and Geordie. Yep.
Scott Barrett. Did you see how they announced Scott Barrett as captain as well?
No.
Because they hadn't said it at all. And then when Laura McGoldrick was talking to the 3.
Just by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, yes. When Scott Barrett leads them out, just, what? You didn't even formally announce him as captain. Yeah,
They mentioned it on the panel as well, I think. They're
Yeah.
like, just to be clear, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you make of
Weird.
the squad?
I like it.
Yep.
Generally. I think looking across the board and everyone giving their 2 cents, there was a general consensus about what the squad would look like, and that's pretty bloody close to what everyone thought. So I don't think you can be too surprised by who was picked. But there were moments, like I was actually like getting up and I was happy for some of these people that have been picked. So
for sure.
whether they're returning or just making their debut.
Was there a biggest surprise for you? Because for me, it's no Blackadder. Someone who didn't make it. That's probably the biggest surprise.
Considering he's also a Crusader, that's probably the surprise.
Yeah.
I think there are a few people that were unlucky not to be picked, but I mean, seeing Duplessis get picked, I was clapping.
Yep.
Seeing Quinn get into that midfield, and it's a big midfield.
Yep.
Seeing Tavatava Nawai get a cap,
It's a big
Fabian
midfield.
Holland, all those guys,
Oh, great for Fabian Holland.
massive. Brody McAllister, I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, brother.
That was kind of left field, I
Hell
thought.
yeah, get in there.
Well done.
So I like it. I generally do. Billy Proctor,
Yeah.
clapped for that.
100%.
It's good. The thing that we were talking about was the wing positions,
Yeah.
but there's enough people from the midfield and the outsides that can actually cover those
Yeah.
and
So
slot
it's
in there pretty easily.
That's a weird one, eh? Only 2 out-and-out wingers in Caleb Clark and Sever Reese.
Yeah. I'm
Then you've
only
got-
upset that Nadawa just didn't get straight in there.
Yeah.
I thought he had a good enough season. Leroy Carter, yes, but understandably you can see why they didn't pick him.
Maybe they need another good season from him to actually...
Yeah, and I think... Yep.
Because, the back line, I think the forwards
I was
pretty
surprised by
stock-standard.
an individual being in there, but
Who?
a certain person who's had a very average season. I think
Caleb
Nadawa could have slotted in there over him. He could have been the injury cover. But you
Caleb
can
Clark.
understand why he was picked.
Well, what, you found those stats of what he did during the season?
Well, I don't understand how a winger just has no tries, has 4 line breaks, and then you still get picked as a winger, as a starting winger too, because there's not many wingers in that team.
No, there's only 2 specialist wingers.
You would feel pretty disappointed if you've had like a really, really good season, a stellar season. You contributed
Odds
to your
are-
team getting to the final, and then you don't get picked.
Odds are Narawa will get a run, I reckon.
I don't know if he does.
As within the 35-man squad.
I don't know
think
if he
he'll
does.
get to put on the black jersey this year. I hope he does. I think he will. You don't think he will?
He had a stint last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
A couple minutes, and that was, and never saw him again.
Yeah. But I think with Caleb Clark, I mean, he's your standard kind of pick.
He'll still do a great job. There's no doubt.
And
he will be solid.
He is better, I guess, for the
But
All
you have
Blacks
to
than he
feel
has been for the
disappointed
Blues.
if you're
For sure.
if you're an informed winger and you're still
If he's
not
in form, he
considered
should have
above it.
scored against the Crusaders. But anyway, like
credit to the Crusaders.
that back line, like there's so many different combinations you could have doing
many.
that, and
So many.
it provides so many different options.
Yeah,
which is cool to see.
That's why I'm not like too upset about
Like
it.
Tavanawa is
Yeah.
picked as a back 3, so playing him on the wing.
He's a midfielder.
I don't know. Is he?
Mm.
Oh, okay. But he can play on the wing.
He can.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out on the wing.
Rico can as well.
Like the example
Will
was,
Jordan can. Ruben Love can.
Yeah. Well, like one of the more left field, and I told you earlier, backlines, which isn't probably going to happen, but could in another universe be your starting 7 in the backline, is a Cameroy guard at halfback. I don't care between DMac or Bowden at 10, one of the two. Tavanawa at 12, Billy Proctor 13. You have Rico Ioane on the left wing in the 11 jersey, Will Jordan playing 14, and you have Geordie Barrett at 15. Like that's all guys who are in very comfortable positions.
Well, that speaks to all the combinations that are actually available.
Yeah.
Because that's probably, as you say, it's probably not going to happen, but that's still
A very valid.
solid line.
Yeah.
So
And then
it's cool. That's exciting. That's exciting. The like versatility that backline has. It's good.
And I think if anyone will get the most out of that, it probably is Razer too. And I think having a year under his belt as All Blacks coach, he might have a bit more confidence within him to try some of these things and, go a little bit more left field. And if something's not working, full sale checkout, you can swap it completely. I mean, the amount of talent in there is pretty cool. I'm happy with it. Lots of comments online before the squad coming out saying anyone who has a squad without Blackadder in there knows nothing. Clearly,
I
they're
like
just
our
couch
Lucy's.
selectors.
I like our Lucy's.
Yeah, I think they're great.
You
All
can make
deserved
arguments,
spot.
of course, for Blackadder.
I think Blackadder's just a
it's
little
probably
bit
a little bit
nervy
unlucky.
because of the injury proneness to him.
Mm.
I mean, he was probably one of the top 3 players in the final, the performance he put in. But I just think, that injury prone, I feel like he could be due. I mean, you hate to see it, but yeah. All right, let's do our like it or love it for this week, Phil. First one, I'm interested to see your take on this because I think it could go one of 2 ways. But Jon Jones
Oh, yes.
retiring, do you like it or love it?
I almost want to say I love it, but I'm going to say I like it. And that's because I did want to see the Tom Aspinall-Jones fight. Everyone wanted to see it.
Yeah.
We waited 2 years for it and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I like it because it moved the division on and
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall can continue in his prime and not waste away waiting for someone who has no interest.
So you certainly
in the
don't
game.
like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you might lean towards love it because of how much it will affect that heavyweight division and revitalize the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was leaning on the side of loathing it because Jon Jones that's a massive pussy move. I mean, just fight the guy. Now you've retired. Does that tarnish his legacy because he's not fight Tom Aspinall?
I think it was
Probably
already,
not.
it
But
was
the
already
comment
tarnished.
Tom Aspinall said, I'm going to retire Jon Jones without even fighting him. Unbelievable. That's come out to be one of the best statements ever.
Yeah.
And I just kind of hate the fact that he's just pulled pin and retired it. He's going, I'm not leaving the house unless I'm earning 100,000 off it at least. Like, I just don't like the attitude from it.
Yeah. I mean,
I like it for the heavyweight division, but from a Jon Jones perspective,
I
just
love it
think
for the
it's,
heavyweight division, but overall it's disappointing to lose that fixture, that matchup.
Yeah.
It's disappointing that you ducked for 2 years, turned down millions of dollars.
Yeah.
To someone who you said you weren't,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you want that GOAT status, you should be taking on the best. I mean, you ducked when Francis Ngannou was there as champ. You came back running against Cyril Gahn.
I mean, there were
Who-
talks
who
against
cares?
fighting Alex Pereira as well, and
And-
like, it's just nothing.
Tom Aspinall deserved the title, deserve the shot at least. So I think it's good for him, good for the division. That's all.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it.
Time to move on.
Absolutely. All right, and we'll move on to Barbarians to face South Africa.
Oosh.
You like it or you love it?
I love it.
Nice.
I can't wait. That Barbars side is stacked.
Yeah, do you have it handy? Some of those
No,
names?
I can't,
know
but I can remember
Kane's
Sam
there.
Kane, Fergus
you said
Burke
Kane.
is in the mix. O'Mahony is there.
Was it Dane Coles? Did I see Dane Coles?
I don't think Dane Coles is in the mix.
I was struggling to find the squad when you told me how good it looks. I'm just looking for it now. But here it is. You said there's some big names.
Shannon Frizzell was in there, I remember.
Yeah, that's good.
Lester Whanganuku's in there.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited to see Leicester.
Peter O'Mahony, Connor Murray,
Kane. Shannon Frizzell.
Fakatawa's in there. There's some good names.
So they play South Africa this weekend. Is that right?
Correct. Saturday.
And what's that South Africa squad looking like?
Well, there's 52 of them, so it's hard to say.
True.
But yeah, the usual in the mix, I'd expect. There's so many combinations between the halves and the first five that you could do. It's absolutely bonkers. But yeah, excited to see what team they put out. And they're taking it very seriously. They
should.
Supposedly. They're operating as a test match, and there's been a bit of banter between the sort of Twitter admins of Springboks and Barbarians.
Oh, lovely.
And then
Things I like to
Barbarians are
see.
saying, so you're saying we're going to have to scrum? And then, Springboks reply with Billy LaRue calling for the scrum after the mark. And then they just reply with, the office meme, just being like, no, please, God, no, please. So that's good banter already. And, yeah, I'm excited to see some of these players run out.
Glorious. All right. Well,
Some
that's
serious All Blacks and some serious Irish players in that
a
mix.
sprinkle of international rugby. And to carry on with international rugby, like what I love it, Phil. The Pumas knock over the British Irish Lions in their first game of the tour, 28-24. What
Yeah,
do you make
love
of
it.
that?
It's a good game, tight game. Lions were in the mix, kind of bounced back as Argentina were breaking away. They had a yellow card, Argentina, and then Lions got the lead. Argentina's winning try was world class. And also when you have a line of 17 and a half, no one's backing you to win that game against a Lions side.
No, $5
They'll
underdogs.
feel verified. And a lot of people saying who wasn't backing them? There was a lot of people saying the Lions were going to dominate that game. That was dictated by the bookies as well.
Yep.
And Argentina, still good, still here to play.
They're kind of like a baby, not baby, but maybe second tier Springboks. I get those vibes from. Just like big buffers, physical.
Speed on the edges.
Yeah, exactly. They just feel like maybe a second tier Springbok team. Which, is pretty impressive.
They've beaten all the top 6 sides now, basically. So, and then put the Lions into the mix there.
And I'd love to know what
Serious
that does
business.
for the Northern Hemisphere arrogance when it comes to rugby. Because the Northern Hemisphere have not won a World Cup for 20 years. And they've been talking about dominating the sport for the last 5 to 10 years. And then you assemble the British and Irish Lions who run out a very strong squad against Argentina.
Yeah.
And you lose.
Close game, though, by all accounts. They definitely didn't play bad. Argentina just played better.
Yeah. I love it also because the Northern Hemisphere losing is just great to see.
And that
it just
line
shuts
side,
them up.
they'll improve as the
Oh,
tour
they will.
goes
It's their
on.
first game together
First
as a
set out.
squad. So be interesting to see. They've got the Force next, and they run through the Aussie Super Rugby teams before they play Australia. So be a good tour. I busted out my British Irish Lions jersey on the weekend. I went for a little jog in it, put it on.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Australia are $3 against them currently.
Wow. And they've got futures.
I
out,
don't know what the
so-
Australian team is yet, but
Interesting.
$3 on the money. The Force paying 10s.
Bang! The Force. Unless Tizano scores a hat trick. I don't know. $10 seems probably about right. Talking about our betting, let's do our odds-on recap from the weekend, Phil. 40-20. Success for you or no?
Half. So no. Dom Young scored. Hudson Young did not.
Hudson Young.
Really close game, actually, Raiders. Tigers. 16-12. Scary stuff.
Disappointed by Hudson Young, actually. Very little effect in my fantasy team this week.
Mm.
So I'm not surprised to hear I'm not touchdown. But yeah,
I don't know if that
watch?
was reduced minutes,
Mm,
considering his origin as well.
yeah.
But yeah,
Wow. I finally.
Dom Young, though, returning for the Knights, and the Knights actually beating the Dolphins.
Yeah, huge.
That was a massive game for them.
On the other hand, that was great for my fantasy.
Yeah,
Dom
Bradman
Young's
best
the
as
winner.
well for me.
Yeah.
He got over the line. Massive.
Genius.
26-20. Well,
My 50-22. So I got one up in week 1 of Super Rugby. Then proceeded to go 18 weeks without one. 17 weeks without a win.
1 from 2, 1 from 2.
And then in the final, I get over the line. So I
Really?
start with one and I end with a win. I had under 50.5 and either team by less than 7.5. So that got up 50 into $213.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Nice.
So great way to end on that. Thank you.
What was that, $5 something?
Yeah, just under $5.
Massive.
So that was nice to bring me back towards the green. Not quite in the green, but towards the green.
it.
So that was good to see. I was happy about that.
And what does that mean for this week then?
I'll probably have to pick some international rugby.
Mm.
It'll be a Barbarians, South Africa, and
Oh, I hope there's odds for it. It should be.
something, yeah.
Otherwise, you have to go Force and the Lions.
Ooh, yeah, I'll need to find something. But just like when...
Namibia plays Italy.
Oh, yeah, it could be a good one. Oh, yeah, I might need to dig deep this week. Our locks and our laugh. Phil, how'd you go?
First scoring play, Chiefs penalty at $2.80.
Mm.
It could have been,
Very well.
and it would have been had, I think, David Havili not get the yellow card
Probably.
because the penalty was actually a ruck infringement on not rolling away. And then they went back and saw the head contact.
Yeah, it was head to head.
Yeah. So with that yellow card, obviously they go for the line. I was like, no.
I know.
It was almost, I'd seen it all. It was there. And then David Havili gets a yellow card. I was like, well,
You almost
obviously
had
you're going to
seen the
take
script.
advantage of that.
Oh,
you have to
100%.
in the finals.
And the commentators were also surprised. Justin Marshall, he was saying how the Chiefs had been taking 3 in these situations in their qualifying final against the Blues, the semi-final against the Brumbies. So they were surprised to see them go for the line. But you're right, a man down, you're going to take advantage
You're going to
of
take
it.
advantage of that. And they
But
did.
you were very nearly there with the script.
Yeah. Disappointing.
You laugh?
Away dog special.
Mm.
Sharks and Cowboys both to win at $7.28. Sharks, well, they should have won.
Yep.
Cowboys, well,
Unfortunate.
Cow turd, they were terrible. Well, they scored 8 points last week. They scored 6.
Yeah.
I thought with Ruben Cotter back, but then Ruben Cotter didn't actually play. So
No.
it's like, yeah. Well, good for my fantasy though. No Wakatinawasi scoring 80 points. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Terrible for my laugh. Sharks should have won that game. They'll be disappointed. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Nico Hines will be on the headlines again. Poor bugger.
Yeah.
Feel bad for him. But man, their second half was dreadful.
Yeah, no surprises. He'll be taking some headlines. Also in the headlines, my lock actually got voided because
Yeah.
DWZ got injured.
He did.
Because I had him to score. And when I saw he was injured, I thought, damn, that's my lock lost.
Damn.
But I was happy to see it got voided. So, thanks, Bitcher. And then my laugh, I went through a roller coaster in the laugh because I checked the San Francisco Unicorns versus Texas Super Kings game for there to be a century scored in the match. And what I found was in the second innings, because I didn't see the first innings, in the second innings, Finn Allen once again went berserk, making the most of the short boundaries.
Oh, crazy.
Until he fell short on 76.
Oh.
And I thought, there's my 100 gone. There's the century in a match gone.
However,
I checked
There
the
it
first
is.
innings, and my hero, Faf Duplessis, 100 on the nose. Come
yes,
on.
please.
So I got in a laugh. I think it was paying like $6.75 for a century to be scored in the match.
Yeah.
Not very often you see hundreds in T20s, but the Major League Cricket is providing it. So
hell yeah.
happy to see that come through.
Should have chucked it in the multiverse. My goodness.
Oh, tell me about it. The multiverse fell one leg short. We nailed the under 49.5 points thanks to Phil. The Panthers plus 13.5, which got up, but in probably the wrong fashion to what we would have hoped.
Khalil Roundtree, so dominant. Unanimous decision. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 5 rounds for him.
And then, like we said,
The cheapest option, the shortest option, the $1.60.
the wingers for the Chiefs decide to not show up to class and are just absent for the final. Now, what I had his moments.
Yeah.
Leroy Carter did not. I thought when Sean Stevenson touched down, thought that was going to be us. Where are our wingers? But neither of them could score. I just needed one of them to score. So we missed by one. Oh, so close.
Well, something happened in that Warriors game too. I had
the ladder challenge, which we had to start from scratch again. The Betcha Boost RTS first, second, or third try score of $4, $10 into 40 did not. That's where you are.
I had Nikore to score in his 50th game.
Oh yeah,
he went off injured due to another head injury for him, unfortunately. Who comes on but Jackson Ford and scores? There it is.
Yeah.
Sub on, play on, please.
Yeah, you
Please.
need the sub on, play on. That could be a big one we push for. Anyway, I think that's where we'll leave it. Not a bad weekend punting. Could be better. We're nearly there. A good weekend.
Multi-rescue saved us.
Yeah. Shout out to Multi Rescue. Let's go. Get the money back as bonus cash and
God damn it.
have another punt. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll be back on Thursday to run it up again.